ready to live it up. And you know what? People may not be able to draw a lot of correlations between the Alamo and what we did in 2016. I do. Because this time in history, we don't have to remember the Alamo. We won the freaking Alamo.
Yes, we did.
That's the difference. You're pinned down. You got 300 against 3,000. Trump comes riding in a blaze of glory, and we won, man. We won. So I think everybody's going to be just, I don't know, full of whatever it is you need to be full of, to be patriotic, happy, ready to live that anniversary date. Good people want to come together and celebrate that. And depending on where you live, you might enjoy the weather a little bit, because I know that from my family and my sister living down there that January warms up again. December's a little chilly traditionally down there. But in southern Texas, January, mid-January, late January, you're looking at 68, 72, right around there. And I think by the time that date comes around, Glenn, people like you and me stuck here in PA will really enjoy getting down there.
In theory, yes. I like it here in PA. The colder, the better.
Yeah, but after a month of it, you'll start to get your fill of it. So the first drink of the night, first sip of the night, Saturday night, Dixie Juice goes to Stacy, setting this all up with her helpers down there in San Antonio, doing a hell of a bang-up job already.
Go out and get something, but I have a little...
Yeah.
Should break with a decade-long tradition and get loaded tonight.
Nah, let's
see
not
what
do
comes
that.
out. Something bad.
Something
bad will come.
Well, you know what my least favorite number is, Glenn? In all of the realm of mathematics, you know what my least favorite number is?
2 divided by 0.
0. Exactly. 1. 0. Because, you know, everything that it entails. It would be an absolute vacuum, correct? We're talking about 0 here, which means 0 facts, 0 truth, 0 sanity. Everything was 0 except meth, apparently, which is an abundant supply. So, I mean, I'm reading through this guy. It's Saturday night, right? We're supposed to joke around. Are we supposed to have a good time with clowns? Get down on the street corner with clowns? All right, I'll get down on the street corner with clowns. Because Mama says, don't ever get down in the dirt, right? With a pig, because you're only going to get dirty too. Don't sleep with dogs, because you only wind up with, lice, whatever the hell it is. I don't remember what the hell it is. But
fleas, wasn't it?
Fleas. There you go. I'm testing you, Glenn. I'm testing you. Dogs do have lice as well. Monday morning, 0 hour. Here's a tweet from 0 hour. 10:30 tonight. Monday morning, my fist call. What is the fist call, Glenn?
He means first. First call.
Oh, you sure? Because only meth heads can't spell.
I don't know. It could be some, some type of sexual activity that I'm unaware of.
Fist call. Okay, yeah. So Monday morning fist call will be to DOD to open an investigation into the man who hunted down my son. Now, I have no idea what this guy's talking about. We have no idea. We've checked every account we can possibly find. We don't know what he's talking about. You know why we don't know? He's making this shit up. There is nothing. I don't know what he's talking about. Nobody knows what he's talking about. He has seriously lost whatever marbles on meth were floating around in that near toothless head of his. So far, this is another one. So far since thanks Thanksgiving. 2 words, Glenn. 2 words. You think he's a Native American and he doesn't like Thanksgiving, or he's a Colin Kaepernick fan where he splits up Thanksgiving and puts them in lowercase? I'm not sure. Yeah, so his far, Thanksgiving, 2 words. Yeah, a little mess.
That's when the autocorrect takes over.
That's true. Thanksgiving, they harassed a service member in Kuwait. Glenn, since they apparently is the Maga coalition, and you and I and Brian Nassine are the Maga coalition, do you know what the hell he's talking about?
No.
Do you know any service member in Kuwait?
I don't know anybody in Kuwait or anywhere in the Middle East.
I don't currently either know anyone that's situated there myself. They say, not they, 0 Hour says that the MAGA coalition has doxed his 5-year-old.
The MAGA coalition is a board of directors. So then, does he mean one of the 3 directors have doxed his 5-year-old? Or does he mean, in a high school way, that people who watch our scopes are now part of the corporation, the MAGA coalition? Because if he means that, then he's a child. And
he's a child either way. Yeah. I mean, doxing his niece. First of all, who do you think you are? John Travolta? Huh? Johnny Depp? Harvey Weinstein? I mean, who the hell knows who your niece is? Use his dad's pic on fake profiles. Listen, if anybody remembers anything,
they use my pic on fake profiles. Of course they do. Athene's pic and yours. Is that a crime?
If you know anything about,
according to Twitter, it's not even an issue. It's no problem.
If you know anything about Twitter, if you know anything about Facebook, if you know anything about what happened to this 0 guy named Brian, if you want to know all of his last names, I'm sure somebody out there can tell you, because we don't engage in that stuff. We leave that to lawyers, investigators, law enforcement, all that stuff. Using his dad's pic on fake profile, this is the same thing he lobbed at Mike Cernovich and Chuck Johnson about 6 months ago when they doxed him, because he wanted to be an anon, right? Well, then we find out he was just a little limp dick Brian from Maine, who was a Ron Paul supporter, and one of the people outed him, and he was just devastated for a while. And then he went back to his anon photo again. So now he's trying the same tricks again. Used his dad's. I don't know who your dad is, dude. Don't care. But I can tell you what's coming next. He says his dad was a Vietnam vet or some damn thing. He did the same thing to Cernovich. I heard from Cernovich's people. You know, they said, "Listen, this guy. This is what they're going to do. This is the next thing he's going to say." Blah blah blah. I don't care. I mean, it's no offense. I'm happy to hear from people. I don't care. I really don't. I have nothing to do with this cat. I don't know what his deal is. But if you start talking enough stuff about people, you're going to get sued, bro. You can't talk lies, demonstrably false lies. I mean, nobody on their Twitter account or their Facebook account or anywhere is posting anything about your kids, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you're an idiot and a liar. He's being ordered. The MAGA coalition is being ordered by some goons. Yeah, we're being ordered by goons here to try to chase.
We're the goons because we're the ones giving orders.
Okay, so being ordered by some goons to try and chase me off. Well, that doesn't make any sense, Glenn. That would be the wrong way to coordinate a sentence.
He's projecting.
He's projecting.
He's giving away what his actual feelings are. He's feeling persecuted, and he's feeling we're trying to drive him from electronic media, and we're goons.
Okay, that's so doing the opposite is starting to piss me off. Starting to piss you off, man? We don't even know who you are. We don't care.
Well, that's rich, isn't it?
Texas ain't far. Texas ain't far.
Yeah. Texas
is that a threat? Is that a threat to the people that are going to attend to San Antonio?
Of course it is. He has his little friends making videos of me falling out of a plane and crashing into a store not 10 blocks away from where the Covfefe Fest was. So they did that? Yeah, of course they did.
Okay.
This is what they do. They're funny. They're,
Oh, yeah, they're real funny.
School. This is middle school shit.
Let me tell you the one thing I like about Texas, Glenn. And I think you like this about Texas as well.
I think I know what you're going to say.
This is not the only gun I'm bringing. Right? This is my secondary weapon, Glenn. My primary weapon will be a little bit more powerful, as they say. Not to discredit this, but you know what I'm saying. So whatever you got to do, 0 hour. And then there's a series of rambling texts with a small girl. I believe she's from a Funny or Die video. She may or may not be Will Ferrell's video or a daughter in a video. It says, "Where's the rent?" That's a lifted, possibly illegally lifted and utilized video. And I don't know what that means either. And then he says, "I know who gave out at and Vandersteel information in private rooms." Oh, like a high school girl, this guy is. Oh, what? My, you guys are in deep shit. What does that mean, Glenn? Is he talking Any idea? About? I have no idea.
And Vandersteel, the moron. Okay, let me get this right, Adam. So you and I and Brian Hassine are now culpable for what everyone else on the internet does.
Apparently.
Likes our scopes. That's where we're at now?
Apparently. All right. I don't know.
Someone made a good point here. All of Vandersteel's info is online. Hello. All of our info is online. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Hitman 625. We'd like your suggestions. Did we start this? I mean, we have let it go for I don't know how long. But, I'm all ears. I mean, listen, I've told you guys for as long as you've been watching me, I don't start shit. I just don't. But my dad taught me one thing. And he was a 36-year executive at a Fortune 500 company. It didn't stop him from telling me one thing. Don't start anything. Just finish it if you have to. Well, I mean, that's what I'm doing. But I don't start anything. And when I finish it, as Glenn knows, because he does the same way, we finish it through legal channels, right? I mean, only one side of this whole debate is telling the truth. I mean, so, if your lawyers, if your private investigators unearth documents that tell who you really are, then we're going to find out who everybody really is. So just have patience, sit back, relax. And when you see somebody melting down in a very public fashion, you got to wonder why they're doing that, right? You got to wonder, what do they have to hide themselves? What are they projecting? Well, trust me, I don't have anything to hide. Glenn doesn't have anything to hide. I damn sure know Brian Hassine doesn't have anything to hide. He's out in the town tonight in California, so he doesn't get home for another couple hours. God knows if we're still on, he'll jump on. But listen, we don't like. We are, Jen. We are enjoying the meltdown. Of course, yeah. Zero, of course, had some of his fake accounts. What's the latest fake account, Glenn?
Oh, it's something like Pack
Cult Slayers,
Super Pack Slayer.
Cult Slayers, and then his lovely girlfriend, his lovely congenial girlfriend, right? The belle of the ball in the South was suspended from Twitter for 7 days, so she made up another account. I wonder why she was suspended from Twitter. It wasn't us. I didn't do anything about it. So I'm sure she's a lovely woman. But Twitter decided to suspend her for 7 days. So she made up another account called what? Didn't do something? Didn't do nothing? I don't know. I don't know either.
I think Twitter is of dubious value anyway. This is the thing. I don't consider it real. It's a delusional thing. It's like we used to do bulletin boards in the 80s, Galacticon bulletin boards, when no one knew what computers were. It was a waste of time then, waste of time now.
It is. It is totally. But, people have contacted me and, I blocked this guy, right? That's what you do, right?
Emo had a great point. He said, we're a cult. You mean like a cult where a guy makes up that God is talking to him in his dreams?
Yes, that kind of cult. That kind of cult. Listen, geez, Louise. I mean, listen.
What a pussy.
You've got to just, if you get to that point in your life where you need to hide something so bad that you create a profile on Twitter and you can't have yourself unveiled, right? Don't get involved in this stuff. Don't engage in this kind of stuff. Because whatever you are, whoever you are, if you got a little secret in there, it's going to come out. All right? Listen, I've told you 1,000 times. I've lived a rather public life since I was 20 years old. There's nothing you could do. Come at me with everything you got. Just the benefit of working in politics. You've got to keep your stuff public. Glenn, never been afraid to tell a story about his past. And Brian the Scene, as we call him behind the scenes, Mr. Maga, go after him at your own freaking risk. Whatever you want to do, go after him. But I got to say, we are the Maga Coalition. Nobody else is the Maga Coalition. There is no one else in the Maga Coalition. Granted, do we have a 90-day contract with Sebastian Gorka? Yes. Does he still honor that and beyond? Yes. I mean, Sebastian Gorka is a part of what we do. Sebastian Gorka is a good guy. So, when you start to tag Sebastian Gorka, we're like, oh, stay away from the Maga Coalition. It's a joke. I talked to Sebastian Gorka, you idiots. I mean, the whole Zero crowd. Are you serious? And you're like, oh, we're going to steal Tony Minetti. Well, you're doing a real... Don't you think Tony knows what you're doing?
They've never even talked to Minetti.
They don't even know who the hell Minetti is.
They talk to a gay Englishman who happens to be virulently anti-gun. That's
anti-Second Amendment. Anti-Second Amendment. And they think we don't even know who he is. And I'm not even going to say his name. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
They think they can... They're telling their followers, and I hope my volume is a little louder. I think it's too loud now.
It's too loud now. You're too loud, Glenn.
I'm pushing it back. But they're thinking that Minetti even knows who 0 Hour is. It's laughable. And I've kept my mouth shut now for how many weeks watching this ridiculousness? We try to let things go. We wanted to move on. We're moving into a new phase. We're trying to do everything possible to help Judge Roy Moore close the deal.
Hey, Glenn, before you finish that thought, who hates who hates Judge Moore? Who has been against Judge Moore the whole time?
Who's been against him?
Yeah.
The establishment.
And 0 Hour.
Oh, Zero's against
0 Hour has been against Judge Moore since before the runoff.
Why? Do you know why?
Because he thought there was money in it. He thought that if he backed Trump against the play, that would be the winning make for him. So if you go back and look at all of his tweets, and to this day, he thinks Judge Moore will lose, and he wants Judge Moore to lose. So if you back 0 Hour, you back Doug Jones and Luther Strange against Judge Moore. Hell, you back Mitch McConnell. Fact. Look it up.
I think we're dealing essentially with a child who is delusional. He probably has some type of history of problems. And I fully expect...
Again, I don't want to interrupt you, Glenn, but somebody else is asking here. Trish is asking, who doxed a 5-year-old?
I still don't know.
Nobody doxed a 5-year-old. I have no idea.
Here's the thing. If that happened, the proper thing to do is take your proof to the authorities and not
please do
in some methamphetamine delusion talking about the Department of Defense. Here's a little spoiler, young man. The Department of Defense is not going to help you. You need to go to your local police with what you have, and they will take it seriously. And if you can demonstrate to me that these things happened, that either I know I didn't do it, If Adam or Brian was involved and you can prove it to me, I will be the first one to move against them. I don't tolerate that kind of horseshit.
Amen.
I don't think people's small children should be dragged into this kind of juvenile bullshit, which you seem to live on. This is your gasoline, is bullshit, innuendo. And it seems since you started attacking me and then moving to Adam and then Brian with personal childish insults and images, rather than discuss substantial philosophical difference, you're not a philosopher. I don't even think you're even a Republican or a Trump supporter.
No.
You're an opportunist looking to raise money.
First of all, we know one thing about
less than intelligent people.
We know one thing about 0 Hour is that he was not a registered Republican. If he is now, he wasn't during the election. We already know that. So this is the guy who didn't back Trump, all of a sudden decided that he could do a PayPal account to, get Trump supporters to be a part of. Tried to get me to post his PayPal account on my account. And I said, I can't do that. And also, why he's saying this stuff about the kids right now, Glenn, I think, is because, we don't know this yet, but I'm sure the law enforcement people will help us out. He's more than likely, he's got really delinquent child support. I'm more than likely, I say, because maybe that's not true. I don't know. See, when I hear stuff like that, I just pass it along to investigators. I pass it along to the law enforcement people of that state. I pass it along to the lawyers, because that's not my responsibility. But I'll tell you one thing. If there's a kid who doesn't have the payments from their father so that they can't have a good Thanksgiving meal, they can't have a good Christmas meal, they can't have presents at Christmas, I don't have a lot of problems with identifying a person like that because they waded into my area. They waded into my side of the pool. All right. I don't have any idea who this guy is. He decided to make a fight over here. All right. He doesn't know who he made a fight with. All right. I'm a clean as a whistle guy. And I've worked only with people who will go to town for the Maga cause. Not work against Judge Moore because they think it's expedient to get PayPal donations. Because he's so clueless about what Trump is about. He thought that everybody was going to run to his side of the thing. And now he's gaining followers by doing what? Attacking us. Listen, I'll tell you one thing. I've told everybody that I'm close with over the years, if you want anything to do with politics, you will read all of Machiavelli's works. And I told Glenn again today, I threw some quotes at him. He's like, yeah, I already know this stuff. I read Machiavelli too. Well, that's good. That's why we work well together. But there's a quote that's not in Machiavelli, not in The Art of War, and it's not in The Prince or anything like that. It's a quote that's nowhere but in my brain. And that is, when your enemy is recruiting from your brethren, don't interrupt them, because the waywards and the unfaithful will be identified. Remember that quote. That's the way that you have to think. So when you got a little douchebag like this, a little meth head, to come into your supposed Twitter ranks and try to infiltrate and say, "Ooh, I'm going to get on the Ann Vandersteel, your voice side of things. Oh, I'm stealing your." This is how ridiculous it is. This is how ridiculous this is. I'm going to steal your Senate candidate. What are you talking about, man? Tony Minetti is not anyone's candidate, but the people of Missouri. All right, you're not going to steal. This is how pathetic and juvenile this guy is. I'm going to steal Tony Minetti from your pack. Why are they saying that? Well, that'll all come to the fold very shortly. Everything will come to the fold very shortly. Why? When you look at this guy's timeline, does it look like he's a meth head, either with too much meth or not enough meth? It's because that's probably the truth. This guy's cracking up. This guy's out of his freaking mind. I mean, if you think I'm going to sit back, now, granted, I don't listen to your stuff. I don't know anything about it. People send it to me. They send it to me in a way that they think is helpful. And granted, it's not. I really don't care. But they also send it to Glenn. They send it to Brian. This stuff gets sent to me. And eventually I look at it all, Glenn, and I see like, whoa, you know how I am, Glenn. I'm like, we're not talking about this crazy cat over here. This guy lives off of the attention on us. That's how he gets followers, right?
And money.
Exactly, and money. Why do you think he has that PayPal account up there? What do you think?
More than one.
Why do you think you have more than one? Yeah, exactly. More than one PayPal, a Crowd, Razor, whatever the hell they have there. You know why? Because the government can't seize those monies. Theoretically, the government can't take those monies. They can't garnish them so that your kids get that money. So, well, this will all come out because this is all public information. This will come out.
They're asking why Manetti is retweeting. As if
I have not, Manetti is not doing his own damn social media. Right. If Tony Manetti was doing his own social media, I'd say, Tony, you got more important stuff to do. Honestly, if you have a U.S. Senator candidate that's doing that, you got problems, man. If you got a guy that's running for U.S. Senate sitting around and retweeting people, you got problems. I know exactly who's retweeting for Tony Manetti. It ain't gonna last long. I can tell you that much. It ain't gonna last long. So, listen, like I said, though, when your enemy's recruiting in your brethren, as in your backyard, don't interrupt them. Identify the malcontents. Let them loose. So normally I wouldn't say a word about any of this stuff, but it's so ridiculous now. Doxing 5-year-olds. Are you kidding me? Doxing your niece? Why? What are you talking about? Who the hell is your niece? You got 6 last names, dude. Who the hell knows who your niece is? And your niece is the only kid that I know of in the greater Northeast that you don't owe child support to. So I don't know why anybody would dox that. I mean, you're way off. You're way off track, dude. I'm sure you got word. There's a couple calls being made. That ain't us, man. That's law enforcement. You did this. We didn't do it. I got 2 kids sleeping upstairs. Love of my life. If I ever had to leave them, I don't know what I'd do. But I damn sure wouldn't miss child support payment. No, I wouldn't. So you run your life the way you got to run your life. I'll run mine the way I got to run mine. Can't dox me. There is no doxing me. So I've been a public figure my whole fucking life. What are you going to do? So sucks when you engage in a fight. There's always that moment, Glenn, when you pick a fight with the wrong guy because you don't realize it. And then you have that moment and you're like, damn. Right? You just feel that moment where you're like, oh, I picked it with the wrong guy. I guarantee this guy, this meth head is feeling it right now.
Well, I don't know what he's feeling. I've felt over the last 4 to 6 weeks since he started attacking that he's not all there. And his behavior it's unhinged.
Well, meth is a hell of a drug, they tell me.
Well, there's something. Could it be drugs? Could it be alcoholism? Could it be some kind of mental illness? Could it be he's under a lot of pressure? Could it be any of those things? I don't really care. I don't think he's a fair person. He has unclean hands. He has unclean hands. And he's cruising for a bruising. Yeah. You can use that in your juvenile images tomorrow. Cruising for a bruising. You can put Uncle Fester says bruising for a bruising. I will help you.
What is he? I mean, what kind of grade school stuff is this? First of all, he calls Hassan Middle Eastern, right? I think he put up the
Arab.
Yeah, he calls him an Arab. He's not an Arab at all. You freaking moron. He calls you Uncle Fester. He's taken all kinds of physical assaults or insults and assaults against Athene. And God bless her, a volunteer working for the coalition. He still takes a shot at her. And then comes after me. I forget what he calls me. I really don't give a crap. Because I put my career, I'll put my everything up against this guy. All right. Because I know who he is. I know everything about this guy. If I wanted to, I could release it. I'm not going to release it. I'm not stupid. This stuff has to be done through traditional channels. When you get a guy with a criminal background, Glenn, and you have a guy with delinquencies like this, and you have a guy with the kind of habits that this guy has, you don't just put it out on Twitter. You don't put it out on any other type of social media. You let the law enforcement do their job. All right. And now there's a civil and a criminal. The criminal side, he's going to have to deal with right away. The civil side, he's going to have to deal with us because we are mounting quite the case of defamation that's added to like a pile of laundry in a college frat house, Glenn. Every day, that pile of laundry is going higher, 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 higher. It's ridiculous. The more you start with this stuff, what are you going to do? You ain't going to wear us out, man. We are in for one reason, and one reason only. Maga. Maga. We're going to Maga till the end. I know you hate Roy Moore. I know 0 Hour, whatever he calls himself now, hates Roy Moore. We don't. We're going to make sure he wins. We're going to make
Just
sure
a little note. Anyone who wants to insult the content of this scope, feel free. I will instantly block you. And you are being instantly blocked. I'm done. I'm done with people making snarky comments. Oh, the show used to be so great. What the hell was Adam talking about? He's a douchebag. Okay, we are douchebags. We don't deny it. But I'm going to fucking block you. And that's it. Done. Done. We're here to talk about something that's been going on for weeks now. Right?
Yeah.
We already dealt with the fake, fraudulent Bill Mitchell. We dealt with him on the last scope. Which apparently was so wonderful, this scope, that 0 felt the need to put it up on his YouTube channel. Which is bad for us, because we're missing out on all those views. But we dealt with the Your Voice America nonsense. And now he's so desperate for our attention. Okay. Game on.
Yeah, the other thing is, why is it that this 0 Hour guy tends to attack single female women, or even perceptively single female women, or should I just say women? He just calls them out. He posts their pictures. He ask me if I've ever done that. If somebody doesn't tweet something that I like, or if they do anything I don't like, would I ever call somebody out in this fashion and throw them out to the whole, Dixie Cup Nation and say, attack this person, attack this person? That's exactly what this meth head does. I mean, he's like taking these women's profiles and he's just like cast them out to all of his little meth dogs. We don't want you to be a part of anything we're doing. All right. We don't want any of you to be a part of what we're doing. I mean, conceptualize what we're talking about here. I've been doing this my whole life. All right. Don't let the cowboy hat and the Fred's t-shirt and the crappy Irish beard fool you. I've been doing politics for a long time. I just get up in the morning, I can eat it, and I can crap it out by dinner. You don't know what you're doing. You don't understand the hemisphere of which you have irrationally waded into. But you'll find out. It'll be to your detriment. But you don't worry me, and you don't worry anyone who knows me. And all your little minions, your little weirdos in there, I don't know if it's a meth chain or what, but you mean nothing. You do nothing. I look at all your little followers occasionally before I block them. They have no followers. They have no tweets. They have nothing of substance to add to this whole thing. Matter of fact, most of them don't even like Trump. Just like you, 0 Hour. Just like you working for Doug Jones against Judge Roy Moore. Dude, we see who you are, man. We see who you are. Why ask yourself, why a guy who like everybody knows your name, dude? Everybody knows your name. Why do you hide your face? Why do you hide your face? But you call out all these women if they tweet something you don't like. But you call them out, right? You send them out to your little dogs. But you ask yourself, if you're on the fence between, the MAGA coalition and whatever the hell this little 0 Hour, which is literally the zeros. You got heroes over here and you got zeros over there. All apologies to Vanilla Ice. Ask yourself, why does this guy hide his face? Right? Because it's not a good looking face. Of course it's not. You're missing a bunch of teeth. Why do you miss a bunch of teeth at that age? Why do you gotta get out of your state real quick? Go down there, move in with some woman you never met eye to eye before? Why is this stuff happening? Think about it. You guys can figure that stuff out on your own. You don't need us. You don't need private investigators and lawyers and all the stuff that we do. You figure that stuff out on your own. Do it before all this stuff comes raining down on them. Do it before so you can feel good about yourself. Think about it. Why hide yourself? Who does this guy think he is? He said, Glenn, and I quote, that there's no part of the internet that he can't reach. And then he pulled up somebody's LinkedIn page. Yeah. Is that not the most ridiculous gosh darn thing you've ever heard in your life? There's no part of the internet I can't reach. This guy is a total hack. A lot of people call him a Google jockey. I don't call him anything. This guy has never broken one story. All he does is do search engine. And he says that he hacks into a LinkedIn account? Dude, you don't hack into a public LinkedIn account. This is pathetic. It's laughable. If I didn't have the recourse, I might be frustrated, but I do have the recourse to sue this guy. So I will sue him. He is being sued. And that's totally separate from all the law enforcement stuff he's got to deal with. Dude, I'm sorry you've had such a bad life, but you can't leave your kid behind like that, dude. You can't leave your kid behind for drug use, and you can't do certain stuff crossing a state line. But we'll figure that stuff out later. I feel bad for your kids, but when you make up lies about other people, you got to answer. You'll answer in court.
I mean, he makes some serious accusations. Accusations, if true, should be brought to law enforcement, not paraded on social media to create cheap outrage. That's how I see it. That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing fake, false outrage. It's what the left fuels the fire.
It's what the left does. That's right.
I saw a video from Campus Watch. I didn't have a chance to put it on MNN. But it's extreme. The whole time watching this video, they had all these college students protesting against Trump and people like us. And the leader was a guy in his 40s. He didn't even go to the college. He's just some paid commie Soros agitator type. And one of the hecklers, one of the people on our side was heckling this group of communists. And he said something to the effect, "What are you, dude, like 40? You're not even a student. Shouldn't you be at home taking care of your kids?" And this paid agitator snapped into training mode and walked right up to him, started screaming in his face, "What did you say about my kids? What did you say about my fucking kids? You said that you're going to do something to my fucking kids." He just kept saying it like an insane person over and over again.
Catchphrase.
And this was you know what? I'm going to play this. I'm going to play it on Monday's MNN. And you honestly tell me, is this not the behavior of this 0 Hour character? It's the same tactic. Crazy screaming, saying things that are not true, but screaming it over and over and over again. Trying to get some cheap outrage. That's what I see. That's all I see. He's not interested in any kind of intellectual or any meaningful discussion. If he had a desire to have a discussion with Maga Coalition or any of its directors, that could have been done before he went on this tear of attack. And I'm a reasonable guy. But there are people out there, he's one of them, and then you have others like Ann Vandersteel, her husband John Kruger, among others, who I can no longer have a substantial discussion with because of what I know they've done. We've gone, the bridge is gone, it's the bridge too far. All there is now is to push the button. You're forcing us to push the button. I am sorry what will happen to you, but you brought it onto yourselves.
Yeah.
I am not involved with what you did. So don't come crying, although you probably will. As you're being taken away, you'll be blaming me or Adam. When it wasn't me or Adam, it's you. Right? You know, don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
That's right. And I appreciate the well-meaning people in here that haven't been on my scopes for a while, so they're all thinking like, okay, let's move on.
Oh, don't worry about them, Adam. I've blocked.
Yeah, don't block them. Don't block everybody who's just said, okay, let's move on innocently because they don't know what's going on here. You gotta accept the fact, Glenn, that see, this Biscotti, I've known her or him for a while. Let's focus on the 2018 election, please. I'll do that some other night. I'm on here because I have friends of mine being accused, defamed, slandered. Maybe you're the type of person that could just let that lie. Biscotti is cool, yeah. So I'm not saying don't block Biscotti, but let me understand what you mean by saying let's move on. I get it. I understand that. I think I do. The other side of it is this is ridiculous. This is out of control. I mean, eventually you got to stand up and say, this meth head over here named 0 Hour is just a dumpster fire of a human being. He is a dumpster fire. So I'm going to get on with my God-given right, to the extent that Periscope allows me rights, to say what I want to say. So I get it. Not everybody wants to hear it. Some people want to be in la-la land where we're all on the same side, rah, rah, rah. Well, I got news for you. There's 2 things on the horizon right now. 2 things. One is the success of organizations that are going to help next year in 2018, of which Maga Coalition is one. 2 is Roy Moore, December 12th, Alabama versus D.C. And we got a guy named 0 Hour who wants to declare war on both. Freaking guy is a nobody. We get that. Be above it. Don't engage these mud-dwelling creatures. I listen. I'm that way. You can go after me all you want. You can go after me all day, all night. You ain't gonna find a new thing. He keeps threatening to dox people. Go ahead and dox the crap out of me. All right? Go ahead and dox Glenn. Glenn doesn't care. I don't care. Brian Hassine doesn't care. And we are, with all apologies to Penn State, the Maga Coalition. We are the Maga Coalition. All right? Nobody else is. Nobody else is. To a certain extent, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, yes. Outside of that, nobody. So unless you heard it from me, you heard it from Glenn, or you heard it from Brian, you didn't hear it. Not from us, anyway. So I don't know what this fruitcake 0 Hour is talking about. But how long am I supposed to sit back? How long am I supposed to sit back and say, Glenn, yeah, let this guy keep nipping at my heels? I mean, eventually, if you leave that chihuahua to bite at your heel long enough, Glenn, it will get into your Achilles. All right? You've got to kick the damn thing. So I'm kicking that little chihuahua named 0 Hour. Not one damn thing he said is true. Not one damn thing he said is true. Nothing. Not zilch. So if you have any questions, ask me. And if this guy had the balls, Glenn, and he said he wanted to have Periscope with me or you or both of us or whatever, how willing would we be? We would be open arms. Come join us.
He's never indicated at any time since his attacks to have any input from our side at all. You know, if you're going to make claims that Adam is buying sports cars, which we have, we've downloaded all of your scopes, you dumb
We got
fuck.
We got
you
it.
Dumb fuck. We've downloaded all of your scopes. And you're making claims that we're rolling all kinds of hundreds of thousands of dollars into some kind of investment account. These are easily provable or disprovable statements. Adam, sports car. Okay, good luck with it. Good luck with it.
I got zero car. That's the thing I have in common with Zero Hour. I got zero car.
Right. No, Zero Hour House has a car.
Oh, he has a car and I don't.
Right. That's right. Unlike these idiots, I'm not going to sit here and repeat information I know about these guys.
Mm-mm.
We know all the cars he has owned in the last 20 years. Right? This is why you have to know your opponent. Then you come up with a attack strategy, and then you push the button. And I've given this jerk off a lot of time to just move on to something else. It's not too much to ask. You were wrong about all of those statements you made about MAGA Coalition, and you admitted it on one of your scopes, which we have downloaded. And then you said that you would never give up your source. Never, ever, ever, is what you said.
Well, we have all that. We already have all that.
3 days later, you gave up your source, and you attacked her because it was a female. You attacked her mercilessly and called her a double agent, and you blamed her on your scope. It's her fault that you made the initial comments about MAGA Coalition, and it's her fault that she fed you a pack of lies.
But then he doubled down.
So I was impressed. When I saw that, Adam, I was impressed. I said, okay, well, finally, he's being an investigative reporter for the first time since I've seen this guy. But then, like a freak, within 3 hours, he's back to the slander and making shit up and repeating the very things that he accused this woman of fooling him with false information. That's when I decided he's not all there. There's something wrong with him. I don't know what it is. Don't want to speculate. He doesn't want to have a conversation with us. He doesn't want to even corroborate any of his dossier that he sent to that guy. What's his name? Thomas Wichter. Oh, my boy, Thomas Wichter, my boy. Oh, he's gonna be dropping some major stuff on MAGA Coalition.
At? Oh, Thomas Paine too. Thomas Paine too.
I'm sorry.
Where's no? It was Wichter too. It was Wichter and Paine. He did both. He said both. Where's that stuff? Where's that stuff, Wichter?
Well, he was going to drop major things, is what he said.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I see nothing. That never happened. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, all of these things, it's just I got to the point with it where I thought the best move is just ignore him, and we're going to continue to do what we're going to do, because we have a series of things that we have to execute. But tonight, I think it was too much. It has to end.
It does. Well, it doesn't have to end. It doesn't have to end, but it's going to end.
Now it's going to end.
It's going to end. You don't know me, or you don't know Glenn, or you don't know Brian. And a couple of really hardy steel spine followers that have been attacked by this leech, this cretin, this meth head. You know, not going to work out for you, bro. Not going to work out for you because you can't use an anonymous profile. You're not an anonymous profile. Everybody knows who you are, all right? And it's just going to be more painful for you the further you go down this road, but I don't want you to stop necessarily because you keep adding on, like I said, to the dirty laundry pile in the frat house, indiscriminately just throwing your dirty tighties on the pile. Every tweet we have all recorded, screenshotted. Every Periscope recorded on a secondary device. That stuff plays in a court. You understand that, right? You understand? You just, these people who get involved with social media now think that this is the Wild West scenario. I can do whatever I want. I can shoot somebody. No, you really can't, man. And what you're doing is not real cool. And you have a character test. Even when people can't tell the truth, for all the lies they put up the character. Now, if you want to put yourself up next to us with everything in your life out there for everybody to see, go ahead and do it, man. I'm ready. I think Glenn's ready. I know Brian Hassine's ready. We are all ready to stand toe-to-toe and release the measurements, as they say in boxing. Release everything we have about who we are as people, what we've ever done in our lives. And then you can stand toe-to-toe with us, and we'll see where people believe the facts lie. You ain't going to win that fight.
Oh, look who it is. It's fucking Hassine.
Hassine shows up on the dime right when I called him.
All right, let's see what we can do some Hassine, some quick Hassine stuff here. Because Brian Hassine deserves his own.
Mr. Maga.
I step aside for 2 hours, and what happens? What happens?
Mr. Maga.
You know, that could be one of the greatest compliments ever. Be called that.
Dude, we already did before you got on.
That's funny.
You are the heart and soul of this whole thing, man. I mean, you are the heart and the soul of Maga.
No, that's not even. You guys are the people watching this show. I mean, are we on right now? Or?
Yeah, we're on, man.
Live.
Okay, so
it's Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night, not the tape delayed. Saturday Night Live.
And it was a great Thanksgiving. So I'm not sure exactly. I missed quite a bit of the show, so I'm just going to step in at this moment. I kind of heard a little bit about a little uproar that kind of took place.
We took care of a little business.
All right. So I got a tidbit of it. Again, the attacks on MAGA coalition have to stop. I mean, I don't really understand where it comes from. For me, if you guys are listening right now, I got to tell you, like about a year ago is when this whole idea started in my mind that you can combine people like us from Twitter, the way Trump did it, and bring us all together to back candidates around the country and put our energy and power and centrally laser our focus on those cities and states one by one, that it would be very hard to beat us. And that was what kind of started going through my mind. And then I met Adam, and we got on the YVA show, and then I met Glenn, and again they started to put that together. Adam, of course, been in this business for quite some time and knows how to put that together. But I saw it as like, what an opportunity, you know, that this is how you could really make a difference. It was never, ever about money. It was about influence for me. And then when I met these guys and they were the same way, I was like, wow, we could literally make something happen here. It's possible that we can create this, I guess, legal terms as a PAC that would be able to focus on candidates and help them win elections that are all MAGA and against the establishment. And then Bannon left the White House and Gorka left the White House. And then we sort of got together at that same time. And the timing was unbelievable. I'll never forget it, how it all worked out. And then to fast forward to where we are right now, and to see these other people trying to attack us, I really have a hard time with it because it sort of it hurts. It hurts because everything that we've been trying to do is the exact opposite of these people, what they say, and I really feel bad because I really think that they're MAGA people. Technically, they're Trump supporters too, you know. And it's sort of like, what a waste of energy on their part to go after what I consider is the heart and soul of the movement, this PAC that we created. It's an organized attempt to incorporate and build a union amongst us to really go after these politicians that are entrenched in Washington, D.C. That's what we're really trying to do. And these are just distractions from the people that come out and pretend to be MAGA people, and maybe they are even MAGA people, which makes me feel really bad. Maybe they've just got personal problems, and some of them helped me along the way, like Bill Mitchell and Ann Vandersteel and Ann's husband, John, all these people that were involved early on. And it became sort of a little depressing when I started to see that they weren't thinking the same things that I was, or that Adam was, or that Glenn was. Adam, Glenn, and I bonded.
What were they thinking, bro?
I started to see this thing that it was about money. And for me, it never was about money, ever. Even when I started making the rings in the beginning, I gave it all away. I didn't want to make a nickel out of the whole thing at all. It was never for that reason. It was always about MAGA and making an influential difference. My whole life, I've always wanted to run for politics. I've lived my life in a way that maybe gave me that opportunity, which probably is past, but I always led my life that way because I wanted to make a difference and be influential. And that's why I thought the PAC was really the best way. It was sort of like taking what we were doing on Twitter, which was very unorganized and unincorporated, and making it into a real thing that really had potential. And then when we signed Gorka, it became real, right? I mean, all of a sudden I'm turning on Fox News and I'm seeing MAGA Coalition chief strategist up there. And I'm having conversations with Dr. Gorka, and he's attending events all over the country with candidates that are potentially going to be in the Senate in the next election. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, we're really having an impact, right? And that's what we focus on every day, Glenn, 16-hour days. That's what we do. No money. There's no money. There's no drama. We're not interested in any of those types of things. Why? So, and I know I've missed a lot, so I'm trying to get caught up, but I just wanted to share that for me, it's sad, it's disappointing that people like Ann Vandersteel, which I firmly believe from the knowledge we've acquired is directly connected to much of this. And there's a certain amount of jealousy that goes to YVA and their little show that they have over there. And it's great. He has a very nice Twitter show and a good little following. He entertains people. He keeps people from, jumping off of the windowsill and motivates them. And I really like that. And Bill's part of the movement, and that's great. I don't want to denigrate him. I don't want to do that. I don't want to tell people what I know about Bill Mitchell at all. I don't want to tell people what I know about Ann Vandersteel. I don't want to do that. Or her husband, or what they did to us when we first started this PAC, or what they've continued to do, because I believe they're firmly jealous and they think that we're like adversaries. It's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I mean, we don't want to do anything to these people, but now they forced our hand. And, for me, slander is a big thing. I'm not going to handle it well. I have to. I heard Adam say a minute ago, push the button. Guys, it's over. The button is being pushed. And unfortunately, these lives are going to change. I know for me and Adam and Glenn, our lives are perfectly spotless. Now, for those people, when you have 6 different names you go by, and I'm not going to get into specifics tonight because I think now we've reached that point where we have to be careful.
We do.
And keep it private and keep it legal and keep it in depository terms, which are going to be coming. And I think I just made up that word. But
I was kind of curious what that word was. I was like, what was that?
But unfortunately, it's really gotten there now, because what I'm listening to and what I just heard, they're still going at it. And unfortunately, I think people are even paid to say bad things about us. And that's not going to stand anymore, guys. We're not going for it. I think I'm ready to spend as much money as I have to defend my name. Mm-hmm. And if anybody thinks that they're going to get away with illegal activity against the super PAC, they got something else coming to them, because the facts are on our side and we're coming after you. And we're going to start Monday. The game's over. So,
hold on, let me block this
Another thing that's starting this week is the good stuff.
Funny.
Where we're putting our.
It's funny, that guy was making an insult on us that it looks like we're all. He was thinking this was very gay looking. That you have three. I don't know if you guys aren't. Only I can see. I think unless you have a second device, what the screen looks like.
Oh, actually, here it is. Yep, now I got it.
It's me.
Yeah, we're kind of bundled all together.
And Adam, like we're sitting next to each other, but this guy doesn't understand. You know, I'm 3,000 miles away from Brian, and I'm about 200 or 300 miles away from Adam. This is just some trick that I'm doing in OBS, so we're all on the same screen. But it's actually the greatest.
Base librarian just nailed him. Homophobia is not cool, guy.
Yeah,
that's right.
I once freaked out. I freaked out Obi. Obi once was interviewing me on early scope, and I think somebody said, one of the trolls said, "Oh, I look gay," and I said, "No, I'm not gay." I said, "But if I was, I'd be the greatest gay guy who ever lived because I have a personal desire for excellence." And so I thank the troll.
Well, let me think about that, Glenn.
Hold on. I don't want to think about that at all.
There's nothing wrong. I see. It's all these people that are saying, "Oh, you're gay." They're actually hating on gay people. That's what they're doing, because it's somehow like a bad thing if I was gay. Now, if I was gay, I've gone about it the wrong way. You know, being married, women, kind of is like, you know, it's in 2017. You don't need that. If I was a gay guy, I'd be the best gay guy. I'd be happy. I would be openly gay. There's no shame, right? But it's just these. I just think it's funny. These people. It's always this double standard. Oh, it looks gay. 3 guys who aren't even like. You know, they're all either 300 or 3,000 miles away from each other. We're all doing green screen. So I've arranged us on the screen so people can see us, and somehow this is good fodder for being attacked. It's just dumb.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I just had to say that, Adam. It's the stupidity of the stupidity.
It is, but I'm going to try to put a kiss right on Brian's cheek. Let's see if I nailed it.
Let me see.
Oh, perfect! I nailed it. I nailed it. I nailed it. I nailed it.
I am Smooch Hamda, like I'm a ham.
I might have
Emo says, so gay.
So gay. Apparently I did it right, man. I did it right. I nailed Brian. I got it right on. On.
Brian looks like that guy that comes out of town. And it's like, you know, it's the first time he goes to a nightclub in New York and he sees a few gay people kissing and completely is like, oh my God. It's like 1980 all over again over here. Although I know that's ridiculous because Brian lives in California. So
not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, it's just that some people are wigged out by these things.
So it's a Seinfeld line. The Seinfeld line. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I love that. That's the greatest episode ever.
Yeah, well, that's left. That's the left. This is their statement. Is that it's the left that's the most horrible, attacking people. Oh, you know, innuendo, he's a homosexual. That's the left. That's what they do. That's what they're about. The right, all we want is not to have our 6-year-olds indoctrinated into anal sex when they're 6 to 8 years old. We're thinking that's bad. And we're called homophobic for that. But it's the left that points at every single politician. You know, he's a closeted queer, and look how he votes. Wow. You never see our guys doing that. 20 years I've been watching this nonsense. I'm not even next. See, I'm in front of him. Oh, I can't go fully in front. See, now I'm giving away the illusion. And what are my scopes? I gave away.
See, Glenn.
I give it away.
Glenn, I nailed it. I got right to the edge and just gave the smooch on the cheek. Smooch. How befitting is that, smooch?
Yeah, we're going to give it a
shout out.
Check this out. Okay. What do we do? We click. Hey, look.
What is your platform, this nonsense?
That's me. That's what's doing this. See?
What? I want to block this guy. I can't block this person?
What's the guy's name?
Justin Shelton.
Oh, let's see what we got here.
I don't see the things coming through. I got to change my...
I just blocked him. Doesn't matter.
Oh, good. Sorry, Justin.
Sorry, Justin. Yeah. Oh, Monica's right. Shout out to Scott Pressler, because Scott Pressler is not only a friend of mine, not only one of the hardest working Trump Maga guys in Virginia. Scott Pressler has the best damn hair. I swear to God. This guy, the best locks going. Great. I
think there was
head of hair.
A competition. Scott and a few other people in Atlanta, he was complaining to me on Scope that there are a few contenders for best hair, but he felt he was the victor. And I agree.
Who would be better? Who would be better?
He mentioned a few people. He said, they're trying to give me a run for my money or something to that effect. You know?
Not you, Glenn.
No, not me. Of course not.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to be on LSD to think that I could give Scott Pressler a run for his money on the hair front.
So who's doing drugs these days? I wonder who they are.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder. Zero hour, not zero meth. Excuse me, I have a prop I have to get. I promised Glenn I was going to break out. So you guys talk amongst yourselves.
A wig scope. I should get.
Oh, I got better than a wig. I'm breaking out my 0 hour. My 0 hour wig is coming up. So you guys talk amongst yourself. I'll be right back.
I have a feeling I know what this is going to be. So it looks like we're under attack. Is that what it is, Glenn?
Well, we've been under attack for weeks now by this idiot. But tonight, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but it looks like they're releasing personal information of Emo. That they're taking, screenshots of his where he works, the name of where he works, and his full name, etc. And I'm tired of it. I was just, our conversations we've been having, my feeling was just ignore him. He'll eventually get bored. And I still think, had we just ignored him, he eventually would get bored. But you know what? Even this kind of pissed me off. He's talking about people exposing the personal details of his children. I've seen no proof of this. So, to me, if you have no proof, if you've got proof,
his children.
Yeah, well, he's saying that there were 7 people or 6 people that in a private Twitter DM room were sharing information about his ex-wife or his children. I'm not exactly 100% on this.
What's 0 hour's real name?
There's at least 2 major names associated with him, and I'm not going to be revealing
I was being facetious. I see.
Yes. I can't tell anymore.
So,
we've entered such
it's interesting. I find it interesting. I find it interesting that the people are faced with 2 choices. Listening to us and believing 3 people whose name and personalities have been known for anyone to see, versus someone that goes by an acronym or whatever you might want to call it, and a fake name, and has another name that we know of that is his real name, and no one is supposed to know that except us, of course. And why do you have to have multiple names? And so who would you believe? Would you believe the people that you know exactly who they are, or would you believe the people that you don't have no clue who they are? Like, I never even knew who 0 hour was until a few weeks ago when I was slandered by him, and I was shocked by it. The picture he put up of me, I thought was funny. That was cute. Go for that. You can attack me all you want. Personally, that's perfectly fine in terms of looks and things like that. Religion, nationality, that's fair game. Go for it. I'll make fun of your teeth. You look like a freaking moron. But you can't slander me and you can't sleaze me. And because your name is not public, the people that are out there listening to all of this have to make a clear choice there. I mean, you know who we are, and nobody really knows who this guy is yet. But his entire operation of being a hidden underground fake LinkedIn hacker is going to come down crashing upon him very shortly when his real name comes out. And then there are other people that go by fake names. I can't believe the people that we trusted early on and had confidence in the Maga movement before we started this pack. I had no idea they had so many different aliases and so much of a history that they came from, that their backgrounds were so tarnished. I was shocked by the information that we got, and we've held back from sharing that publicly because it's much more important to share it legally because of what took place. And then we also think that 0 Hour, and in my opinion, Glenn, we haven't had a direct conversation about this, but I think 0 Hour is probably being paid by somebody.
Well, paid in money or in kind. Some promise of something.
Something. There's certainly some coordination going on. I think we had some information come out yesterday about that is going to add to the pile that we're compiling on these people. It's a real shame.
They're making claims here in the comments that 0 Hour is saying I threatened him with violence. It's ludicrous. I don't threaten people with violence because I'm a non-violent person. How odd is it that a firearms instructor is non-violent? But that's what I am. I don't believe in initiating fights. I believe in running from danger where at all possible. And the only violence I will do to 0 Hour will be in a courtroom where properly these type of grievances are aired in a civil society, while he will make personal insults and will lie in order to raise money for his ridiculous life, whatever is going on. He's buying all this equipment. He's putting pictures of all these big screen TVs. It just is beyond me. I don't understand insane people. I don't get it. I'm sorry that he just decided that we were like the devil. But I can't have a conversation with people like this. They won't talk. There is no discussion. They started this. I didn't want this. I never went after 0 Hour. Came to my attention one day when I watched one of his scopes. He was just going on and on and on about me. And there's Adam and his prop. In honor of our
0 Hour. This is for 0 Hour.
He kind of looks like a millennial version of a Fez, in a way.
Hey, 0. Sorry that Judge Roy Moore is going to win.
Definitely.
Sorry, 0. You've been against him from the start. You're for Luther Strange, and now you're for Doug Jones. This is my tribute. Go ahead and snapshot, you freaks. There you go. They got a snapshot. That's all I wanted. They got a snapshot to send to him. We'll see how they spin that one. That's all for you, 0. It's all for you.
Who knows? Maybe Stevie Gangbang has this scope in a browser cache or some other well-crafted lie.
As if he was like a tech sleuth, right? Yeah. You really pulled a Snowden on us there, Gangbang.
What did he do? I missed that one.
It's not even important. Not even important. I mean, we decided to go 100% behind our guy, Judge Roy Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And that's what we're doing. Sometime in the next 48 hours, we're going to activate the volunteer list. We're going to go all in. We're going to try to do billboards in Alabama, radio spots, internet advertising, and maybe even some of those liberal-controlled newspapers may finally return our call so we can.
I'm afraid Brian might have to go down there in person and threaten some of these.
That's the newspapers aren't happening, but the billboards, I think, have a really good shot. I know activating the volunteers, and we have thousands of them. So when that activation process starts, which in the next 48 hours it'll be the first example of the type of power that we can initiate in an election. And I think Alabama will appreciate it. I think it's a shot across the bow of the people in Washington, D.C. I think this election is definitely the most important election since November 8th last year. This is telling the establishment they can be beat, and that money and their power have no longer can beat the people. We can initiate people and put them in place and give them the energy to do what's necessary to win an election. And I think they've been unveiled. I think Donald Trump now really is exposed the establishment in Washington, D.C. now, that the people of Alabama are looking up there and just laughing. I mean, I'm here in California, 3,000 miles away, and I can see what Washington, D.C. is all about. Mm-hmm. The people of Alabama, they know what Mitch McConnell is, Mike Lee, all these guys that came out after Judge Moore within minutes and yet have remained mute on all these other allegations from these other senators, Democrats, in fact, and not said a word. Contrast of those two things and the confluence there tells me that this whole thing is a setup, and we have to defend Judge Moore, and that's what we're going to do. Because not only do I want to win, I told you guys yesterday, I want a blowout. I mean, I want to win 41-0, to be honest with you guys. We got to send the signal. It's not enough just to win. Let's send the signal. You're in Alabama, or if you're watching this tonight and you haven't volunteered yet, we're not asking for any money. Forget that right now. Just volunteer. Get online. Go to MAGAcoalition.com. Sign up. That way, in the next 48 hours, you get our instructions emailed to you, asking you to do what we need in a energized laser beam way in the state of Alabama so they get the message. And also in Washington, D.C., this message is going to be sent in the next 48 hours. And I think it will make a difference. It's our first shot at it. And everyone should be behind us in this. This is what the point of the coalition is. It's not to engage in nonsense on Twitter with these useless people that are not incorporated. 0 Hour or whatever his name is. We can give his initials if you want.
Well, which ones?
Well, that's I kind of want to give them out.
We get.
I think
or is it F something?
It's FD, BA, and BG.
And it's a very strange name, I got to tell you. Mm-hmm. So it's a very odd name. I could see why he changed.
Only the state of Maine ever heard of it, Brian. Only the state of Maine ever heard of it.
Oh, and the state of Florida.
Yeah, and and this guy, if he was really
New York, yeah,
if he's really that smart and everything like that, he should create a corporation, find a team of people together, and create a PAC. And go raise money and go find candidates.
They did. Remember, Vandersteel's husband had that fake PAC up for
Maga
a day
or whatever the hell.
Yeah, they had it up for a day, and then mysteriously it disappeared. And Cernovich had his PAC, and 2 months later, it was completely legally unwound.
Wouldn't you know that that Zero is desperately trying to take attention away from this, and he is now scoping.
All right, well, good. I mean, glad he's scoping.
Great. Hey, great. Let's see if Zero can keep up with the numbers of people that believe in us versus him.
It's a real shame, I got to tell you. I mean, because if you're that talented, and he tells everybody he's such a genius, if you're that talented, such a genius, you could really utilize that.
Fine, I've had a 20-minute conversation on the phone with this guy. There's no genius at work here. I can tell you this much. There's no genius at work here.
His claims, though. I mean, so hey, put your claims up.
Here's the thing.
Legitimize yourself, dude.
Here's the thing. I mean,
unveil who you are. Tell the people your real name and what your life story is. Give us your resume. and then go do your thing. That'd be great. We'd love it. Can't do it, can you? Though that's the problem.
Yeah,
you just can't do it.
He's a fucking turd. And if he wants to do something meaningful, then come on a scope. Let's do a scope together.
Come on, buddy. Right? Why do one by yourself? Join us. Join us.
To ask him some questions. I'd like to know, he's blamed this young woman in Georgia for leading him astray and repeating. He actually said on this scope, which I have a copy of, he said that the original accusations against MAGA coalition were from this woman and that he only repeated them. He claimed he never said they were true, which of course
I don't think the court's gonna drop it like that, bro.
No,
but nice try.
He's making the case 4 weeks later for us. He's making our case that that what he was saying was damaging, so damaging that he was trying to rewrite history and saying he never believed it. Yet he keeps repeating these things and saying they are true. And then he reveals his own source, this young woman, and slanders her and puts her at risk. And then he's talking about how he will never give up. I'll never give up my source. Never, never, ever. That's what he said 3 days later. Not only did he give up the source, he exposed her to the public and then attacked her character. It's just unbelievable. What kind of mental retard would watch this guy? Unless it's just watching a train wreck. I mean, sometimes when I was younger, I'd watch two bums beat the shit out of each other downtown. And there's a certain oh snap, look at that, right? But we're trying to run a political organization here. Exactly. I got involved with this thing because I got sick and tired after 50 years of sitting on the sidelines. Adam gave me the opportunity to actually be part of the action, even in a small way. That's why I got involved with it. I mean, the whole thing about money, they may be jealous that we're raising some money, but I'm not spending anything on me. None of the money is going to us. It's sitting in a bank account, and it's going to be spent on trying to get Judge Moore the biggest margin of victory possible to send the most damning type of message to Mitch McConnell and the rest of those gutless bastards. Right?
That's the enemy right there.
Yeah.
The establishment. These are the enemies. Focus their energy on the enemies, for God's sakes. Don't be jealous about us. I mean, we try to break out and become a real super PAC with an incorporation. Everybody has to understand that. It's very hard for us to engage in this Twitter drama. This whole Twitter drama is just a sideshow for us. We're doing real things. I mean, all week we were writing letters and billboards and advertising and quotes and trying to figure out how to attack Alabama. And these people are on Twitter. I mean, I just tuned into this, and they're attacking us again about some silly stuff. I don't even know what it's all about, but it's all I know is that we have one thought in mind, and we just want everybody to have the same energy and put it in the same place. And what a dumb thing for you guys to do, because you've put us in a position where we're forced to defend ourselves and to me, at any cost. I don't care what it's going to take now. That someone's going to have to come out publicly and find out the truth now. It has to be told. And everyone knows who the players are now. You've got this YVA group of people that have motives against us. Adam and Glenn were let go, and then I quit because of it, and some other people that were let go and left also. And we all have a story to tell. And these people have not let go of that. And unfortunately, they've done things that they're going to have to explain to people that are going to have to adjudicate that claim. And it's sad that it's gotten to that. I mean, it's just incredible that they continue to attack us. mercilessly. And why we're still here as a super PAC in the face of all this is because we have no administration costs. So any money we've taken in is
instead of low overhead, we're no overhead.
No overhead, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Rev 18 and these other guys and all these other PACs that try to come out, everybody wants to take a paycheck, and there's just not enough money to go around. With us, we're doing it out of freaking goodness of our heart because we love our country and we love Donald Trump. And, if we could accomplish this, I mean, I would trade millions and millions of dollars for you to tell me that I had an influence in electing non-establishment candidates and defeating the establishment in Washington, D.C. If you told me that this super PAC that we created from whole cloth, made up of people like you watching this right now and a few thousand other people, if you told me that we were able to accomplish that, then I can die happy. I wouldn't need a nickel or anything like that. I mean, it's like anything, spending my own money, my own time. It's about that for the three of us. It's so everyone has to get that through their head.
They say this childish little turd is now almost crying on his scope, threatening to call either it's the FCC, but I think they mean the FEC, the Federal Election Committee. Okay, so this is what it is.
Glenn, do me a favor, if you can you hold up? Can you hold up our FEC registration? Just to hold it up, because this is getting a little bit out of hand. You have that on file somewhere? I mean, they can look it up themselves.
Hold on.
I mean, really, let's just put this to fucking bed.
Can we put 0 hour scope on our scope right now and watch it together?
Oh, that would be fun. Let's watch it together.
Let's do it. Glenn, can you do that?
I'm not going to do that.
He doesn't want to give him the airtime.
I'm not going to do that. I don't like. Listen, I don't like it when people take my scopes and play them in their entirety. I don't mind if they take 5 or 10 minutes. That's cool, even 20. But when they play all 2 hours and then just do a commentary over it, it wigs me out a little. I don't want to be that guy. Zero, he's got his thing, and he's entitled to it. Now you've asked me to put something up.
You can just hold it up, whatever you want to do. But I also want to give out a quick shout out to my girl. I see her in here. The girl in Texas. I'm just going to call her Lou, so nobody else knows what's going on. Lou, you are a fantastic supporter of everything I've ever done, and you backed it up with your support for the Maga Coalition. And we really hope to see you in San Antonio on January 20th. I appreciate everything that you do. That's all I want to say. Go on.
The problem I'm having is the document I found. It's an FEC-related document, but it has some people's personal information on it.
Yeah, well, we don't want that.
Which I cannot put that up because that would be an invitation to what do they call it? Identity theft, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to.
Well, either way, we are. If anyone's curious about us and our status with the FEC, we are discoverable by the following methods. Go ahead, Glenn.
Just go to fec.gov.
fec.gov. And by the way, make sure you have the right MAGA coalition, especially if you're a dipshit meth head who moved from Maine to Georgia, who can't discover the right one.
They have people recording our scope. Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, well, we know that.
They're recording us. Oh, let's
Dookie
pretend.
Heads.
Yeah, we hear FEC. There it is. And so you look. Let's see. So it is fec.gov. And then I think we do under
we're looking up fec.gov, and we're calling this guy 0 hours still. It's like living in Gotham City with Batman and Robin, and we don't know who Batman really is.
Well, we know who it is. Yeah,
damn sure. That's the worst metaphor ever, Brian.
Why are we calling him 0 hour, though? I mean, why don't we just call him by his name? I mean, Jesus.
His name is, well, which one? You got Brian. Well, Brian's the only name that we can. No, well, of course, it's Fior, Fior DiPatronatio, or Jesus Louise.
Well, that's what we should be calling him. I mean, look,
this is real Goomba shit here, as they say in the Italiano circle.
There is.
I think everybody needs to know what his real name is.
Well, I don't want to take too much away because I put my own time and money into the private investigators and the lawyers. So I don't need anybody else to do the job. I already have that being done. So that'll all come out in time. I'm not worried about it. But when you besmirch our name as if we're not registered correctly with the FEC, clearly we are, you dumbass. And it's discoverable by anybody who gives a shit to look it up. This is not to say that the rest of it is not defamation and slander, because it is. And what he's doing to other people on Twitter, I think, is beyond slander. It's harassment. And they should all file their own complaints, not only through Twitter, they should file it through their own personal attorneys. And people have asked me, let me ask you, why do you think Joey, and everybody knows who I mean by Joey, is quiet right now? Do you think Joey's intimidated by this guy? You got it all wrong. You picked the wrong fight.
Okay, here it is. Zero. I'm putting it up. This is from the FEC.gov website. It is our entry, Maga Coalition Incorporated. Apparently the latest, what do we call it? The amendment document hasn't taken effect. There's a delay in between.
But that does not change the official record.
No, it just means that the update on our address, that's the old address. We have a new address. And I think it's 1001 Brickell Bay Boulevard in Miami, Florida. So that will be changing soon. And the treasurer, Todd Wotees, that will be changing. But we are registered with the FEC. And as I've said on these scopes before, that our lawyer, we have one lawyer, all he does is look out for FEC compliance, and he's one of the best lawyers in Washington, D.C.
It's a D.C. lawyer, but that's not the New York lawyers.
No. I'm talking about the FEC. I'm talking about FEC compliance. We have one lawyer in Washington, D.C. All he does in his practice is keep PACs in compliance with the FEC. And when all of this horseshit started with this asshole, I actually reached out to this guy in writing, not by phone, and said, hey, are we in compliance? Please tell me we are in compliance. And he gave me a paragraph. He said, if anyone ever asks about our compliance, you can cut and paste this paragraph. We are 100%, and our first filing will be by January 28, 2018. That will be our first filing. Okay. Did he ever reach out the 0 hour before he started his campaign and said, hey, Glenn, I've heard that you're not in compliance with the FEC? I would have been very happy to forward him the legal explanation of why we are in compliance and the proof that we are in compliance. But he never reached out to me because he's a shithead.
Well, he also, I don't think he's the brains behind this
I don't think he's the brains behind anything.
So the real question I'm going to really get at with our attorneys is who is feeding him, who potentially is paying him, who is behind this attack, and what motivation do they have to disrupt our activities and slander us. And I know who those people are. And I've had many conversations with them over the last long months when we first started with YVA and when we left YVA. And certain people there have motivations, which I believe will lead back to who this person is, as he's more of the dog they sicked on us. And that's all he's capable of, is being that dog. So the other people that potentially put him up to it, those are the ones that I'm really interested in personally, finding out what they did, how they did it, and making sure that they pay for what they did.
Yeah. Well, all that is part of the discovery process and litigation, civil and criminal as well. So we'll have our day. So, I mean, a lot of people contact me every day, every other day, like just people that happen to randomly follow Twitter drama. Hey, Adam, this guy 0 Hour is saying this. Well, I can't respond to every one of them, but I do see them, especially as they compound. And I'm like, yeah, you know, this guy's, I know this guy. He's a little bit, woo, you know. But, you know, as you move along, he makes stated facts for the records. Not only does he write it out, which, of course, is the definition of libel, and then he speaks it, right, in what he's doing right now, which is like drastically trying to get people off this scope onto his scope. That's slander. But overall, it follows under defamation of character. And it combines into a devastating case of civil nature. But then we take the criminal component of what and who he is as a person and what his life has been up till now. It's amazing that he's been prodded, as Glenn would say, into this by other people. And I think that they, you know, just kind of mess with the wrong, you know, coyote in the pasture, so to speak. I mean, I've been around for a while. What they do to me means nothing because I have nothing. I put everything into this, as you guys have. We put everything into it. Nothing in this world will keep you more shielded or pure in the face of attacks than to have nothing to gain but for the benefit of others of your activities. So when we do what we do to make sure that Judge Moore is the next senator from Alabama, and we do what we do to make sure that Kelly Ward